What if I told you there was a way to guarantee that a tactic was really good? And not just by putting best tactic ever in the title, but like actually guarantee that a tactic is very good. Football Manager for most people can be boiled down to a quest for the best tactic you can possibly find in just a huge trial and error process to get there. I'll be a little open about this. I'm not necessarily that person. I try and get a good tactic, a couple of different ideas, an attacking tactic, a defensive tactic, and then just fill them with the best players that I can find, and I put more value on finding those great players. And you need to keep in mind that you can play that game and still be successful without searching for the perfect tactic, and that the quality of the players matter. But there is now a way to make sure that a tactic is very good and can even overcome certain amounts of your players being bad or your selection of players being bad. And your brilliant managerial move was deciding to watch this video. I'm Zealand for FMBase, and this is how we test to find the best tactic, and this also tells you what the best tactic is so far. All right, it's time to lay the video out. What we'll be talking about today is an ingenious method developed by the coders behind FMBase to test tactics in a way that provides a uniform collection of information based off of a lot of different things. Then I'm going to tell you which tactics end up on top and show you where to find this page with links down below where you can go compare scores, compare goals for, compare goals against on average in the testing arena, so we say. Also, hang around for the end if you want to know how to get your tactic tested in what you're about to see. Let's get it started hot.
No, God!
All right, now it's time, after that shameful display of dancing, to get into the first half of what we were going to talk about, which requires us to go to FMBase, so that's what we're gonna do. And any accredited search engine will do. There's then a section called Tactics now in FMBase. So if you go to Tactics, and these are all 20.2, you see you've got 20.1 and 20.2. There was a match engine update post-release, and that turned into 20.2. And then there is a very large collection of basically a table that you can scroll down, and there's a lot of information, and you're not necessarily sure what it means or how it was achieved. Luckily, that's what I'm here for. So let's make this full screen for effect. Wasn't as dramatic as I hope. What I want you to understand before I start talking about this next part is that I had to pull the information out of the coding people that put this together. It's still a trade secret. They didn't want me telling any specifics, but I needed to get them to let me tell you enough information so that you'd know that this was an effective tactic testing system and that it's one that you could trust, and it's going to give you some of the best information you're going to find on tactics possible in a scientific way, but also without telling you how it works, because it took the coders a long time to make. So we don't want to ruin their day, do we? I was sad about that. I wanted to just tell you the whole thing, but I guess that would defeat the purpose of having it right here. And then it would get knocked off, and it would get knocked off inefficiently, and you wouldn't be able to trust anything anymore. And we all have trust issues already, so that's why we need this. Okay, focus. What you're looking at are the results of tests. These tests are done on actual computers. They're done by members of the staff, and what happens is the tactic is put on two different types of teams. The teams are ranked. They're ranked in top tier teams. Think of Liverpool. I'm going to anger somebody, so I'll just say everybody. Manchester United, Arsenal, Tottenham. I won't say City because I don't have any fans. I actually really don't think that's true, but for the memes, it's great. Then you have your suboptimal teams, your next level teams. You're thinking Wolves, Leicester, even though they might be a top level team this year. But in terms of the in-game ability and that sort of thing, And then you have your bad teams. And we all know who the bad teams are. You can see this actually broken down on the table itself. You can just look at how the tactic does with the sub-top teams or how the tactic does with the true underdog teams. And if you are one of those two types of teams, you probably want to click on one of these. And you see how the score can change. And a different tactic is on top. The overall results, which I've just clicked this back to, though, the results of those two are averaged to provide a win percentage, a draw percentage, and a loss percentage. Average number of points per game, average number of goals for, average number of goals against, and then a total additive score from factors that I'm not allowed to disclose, but obviously you can see all the other bits of information to confirm that that score is not completely made up and does a good job of ranking these tactics. The end result is a list of tactics that start with the most effective and is actually indexable based off of every searchable thing on the tactics section of FMBase. I want to sort by points per game. I want to sort by win percentage. I want to sort by loss percentage. Who loses the most? I'm just curious. 63%? No offense, it's still probably better than mine. Or if you're looking for a defensive or offensive tactic, let's sort by goals against. There's one that only gives up 0.76 goals per match. Problem is, it just doesn't score a lot either. But if you're a terrible team, I feel like that's a good way to go. Obviously easy to get distracted with it, but this system provides a fully indexable list that is always growing. More tactics are always being tested. And it gives you a lot of different options if you are struggling to find a tactic that works, especially after the match engine was updated in 20.2. I'm just stepping out to take a moment here because this is such a valuable resource that it's hard to understand. Now, most times when you're talking about the best tactic, or let's replicate Pep's tactic, or let's do this, let's do that, best defensive tactic in FM, game-breaking tactic, these are very rarely tested, and even less so tested in a statistical analysis kind of way. This is FM analytics. This is telling you, out of a scientific test, what tactic is the best. That is so rare in the Football Manager universe that I hope you can appreciate it, and I hope you're able to use it very well, and that you're able to run tactics through it that will confirm or deny your suspicion about whether a tactic is actually the best or whether it's actually kind of middling compared to some of these maniacs that just create tactics nonstop until one works. It's just rare in the Football Manager community that you get this level of scientific analytics breakdown. I worded that wrong, but you know what I mean. Now we're moving on to the second portion, which we're going to pull the best defensive tactic, which is this one right here. And we're also going to pull the best offensive tactic. So I just sorted by, goals we didn't allow. We're looking for blue matter. There it is. And we download this right into the very familiar place. Tactics. Best defense ever. EVR, a couple of R's. Hell yeah, brother! Now we're going back. We're going to go grab the best offensive tactic, which is not that one. The Fiend. See, but this allows 2.12 goals against. I don't know if I'm feeling that. It does win 41% of the time. You get the feeling they get kind of blown out every once in a while. Whatever. We're going to download it. Best offensive. The Fiend. And this is, of course, right now, if you look at the tactic tester and it's maybe even a couple of days later, maybe somebody else has thrown out a great tactic that is just better. Best offense ever. But these are just the ones we're going to grab right now. It's the Fiend version 2 being downloaded, and then we'll sort by points per game. Points per game is going to give me Sympathy for the Devil, also by Nap. Nap's just on fire. Sympathy for the Devil. We have multiple Sympathy for the Devils. A mystery that only I can solve. Upon further consideration, it is not Volume 2, it's just the original one. So we're going to go ahead and download that. Best tactic ever. A bunch of R's. Cool! Time to open up Football Manager. While I'm doing that, and I found this is a wonderful time to tell you If you've enjoyed the video so far, you've liked hanging out, it's been helpful for you, you found it interesting, and this tactic tester is about to change your life, you can go ahead and like and subscribe. Liking, we greatly appreciate it, helps index the video so other people can find it. If you subscribe, you also get access to all the other fun guides and tutorials and how-tos and scouting reports on Wonder Kids and free agents and everything under the sun that we do here on this channel. And all of that could be yours for 3 easy payments of subscribe. I also stream on Twitch. The link is also down below. If you want to follow, if you use Twitch, I play Football Manager. You can fire up Football Manager while hanging out with me. We talk about it. I help you. You help me. I learn my one new thing for the day. You learn your one new thing. Just to use a save, we're going to go into the Twitch save that I have. Soviet Steamroller with Bate Borisov. We just beat Roma twice, and I don't know what to do with myself, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that. We beat Roma twice in a group stage and in my first season. Where do you go from there? I feel like 10 years from now, I might not be able to do that with this club. And if you put it right in that tactics folder, like I showed you, you should just be able to go to tactics, load, and they're all right here. And we're going to look at all 3. Gotta say, I'm disappointed that the names don't carry over, but whatever. So here is the best offensive tactic on the 20.2 match engine as tested scientifically by the FMBase tactic tester. Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta save my own tactic first. Couldn't think of a better name. What you had before, bro. Save. Now load. Not what you had before, bro. The best offensive tactic. Oh my god, there it is. With a lot of instructions. Mercy. It's aggressive. Suppose you'd need a right-footed player here. Get into this space. But out of a lot of tested tactics already on 20.2, this tactic will score you more goals than any other one that's been put through the ringer. Certainly not for the lack of trying. Really, only higher tempo. I would have figured it was higher than that. Whatever, you know how to find it. You watch me download it. The link is down below in the description to get to the tactic testing portion, but let's go ahead and look at the second one. The best defensive tactic that you've ever seen. It's unbelievable. And then Football Manager 20.2, and here we... Really? It's a 4-3-3. Shut up. No way. This was it, right? It was the blue, blue steel or whatever. Goals against. Blue matter. You just can't score against this. It is so much better, on average, goals allowed than any other tactic on this list. It's just gotta be the lines. Yeah, that's it. Apparently the high line's really good now with the new marking system. That's what the other tactic used too. So it prevents goals by gegenpressing the bejesus out of the other team, basically, right? I mean, you just live in the other half of the field. Counter and counter press is just nowhere to go. And when you're trying to go somewhere, you got 5 dudes in the middle of the park trying to slow you down. What do you stay decent with? Tighter marking? You just outnumber those counterattacks. I'm super intrigued that this is a good defensive tactic. I was expecting an airplane parked right here. Technically, there are a few. They're on international duty. Or vacation, actually. It's the off-season. Here's what I know. And now for the best tactic. This, of course, didn't score the highest. This did, in terms of points per game. Drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, the best tactic in Football Manager 20 and the .2 version of the match engine is before you now. It's after my own heart, too. This is a lovely tactic. Get you in position to defend, also throws bodies forward going the other direction, finds a way to throw bodies forward going the other direction while also being very tidy in defense, and having 2 players, which if you're not the better team, is a very effective way, having 2 players at the top to just create goals out of nothing, matching up one-on-one against the center backs. Eventually somebody's going to be open. Statistically speaking, scientifically speaking, what you see before you with, guess what, much higher line, will create more points per game, 1.55, than any other tactic. except for maybe yours. Sorry, I gotta stop before I tell you how to get your tactic tested in this tactic testing system. I know there's somebody that's like 1.55 points per game. That's just really freaking low. Dude, it's an average between playing as one of the worst teams in the league and playing as a mid-table team in the league. It's an average point. From those 2 points, there's like a lower mid-table team, 1.55 points per game. Drag down a little bit more, perhaps, than that. Tactics nasty. With a capital NAS. If you've been reading the whole time, you actually already know how to get your tactic tested. We have a very hardworking and dedicated team who are determined to test every single tactic uploaded to FMBase. That's it. That's all you need to do. Let's get rid of our downloads. Is go up to resources. You go up to resources. You click resources. And come into FMBase. It'll be right there. Drop down Football Manager 2020. Go to FM20 Tactics. Here you will see all of the tactics that are uploaded to FMBase, and more importantly, you see pending test. They're currently being tested, and you get a little green emblem if you've already been tested. Then once you log in or create an account, which takes you about 20 seconds, you create the account, this add resource thing pops up in case you've never added a tactic before, but you say, hey, I want to test my tactic in this super cool thing. Click on add resource, and then you figure it out from there. That's just not very good tutorial material. You fill out all of the different sections. None of them are particularly complicated. You even have an option to add a version number if you're uploading an updated version of a tactic or something. Here is where you're going to upload your files. Remember, if you save your tactic in the game, which I can actually go back and show you again, you click save, then it will show up in the tactics folder of Documents, Sports Interactive, Football Manager 2020, Tactics. It will be in there. You grab it, upload it, fill out the rest of the information, which is all very self-explanatory stuff. It's like description, title, and your tactic is uploaded. And the magical process begins. I, for one, am looking forward to testing my tactics in this system now that I've finally made this video. It took a long time to figure out exactly what I would be able to say, okay? I look forward to all of you getting your tactics tested and then figuring out which tactic is going to be best for you, or maybe riffing on which tactic is going to be best for you by pulling from our tactic tester. It's a very fun, exciting system, very accurate system, very data-driven system. And what more can you ask for when you're trying to unbiasedly test these tactics against the mean? All the best to you in the gladiatorial arena of tactic testing. I will see you soon. Have a fantastic weekend. It's your boy Zealand. Out. Just run to the... Yeah! Yes! Oh, that is a crowning achievement right there. Casual 2-1.